Warning, this program is entirely fictional and made by a sole Canadian man. All characters and events in the show, including the host, even those that are based on real people, are entirely fictional. The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
America, the land of the free, home of the brave, and the stupid, and the criminally insane. The United States has seen its fair share of gangbangers, mobsters, and psychotics who've roamed our beloved streets, causing untold chaos, destruction, and corruption. Tonight, on Grand Theft Auto Biographies. Mafia connections, hundreds of murders, and the largest criminal empire in the southern United States. These are just some of the things the subject of tonight's episode has. We will examine a crook who rose through the ranks of the mob before being cut down by higher-ups fearing his rapid rise to power. We will take a look at the rise, fall, and rise again of a man who became one of the most powerful criminal kingpins in the country, Tommy Vercetti.
This episode of Grand Theft Auto Biographies brought to you by
Ammunition, protecting your rights.
Before we begin tonight's episode, I must plead with you to subscribe to this channel if you wish to see future episodes. My employers were very clear, shill at any given opportunity. Remember folks, much of the information in these episodes is obtained through anonymous, trustworthy American sources, so do yourself a favor and support this series. Like this video. After all, a like for this video is a like for America, and if you don't support America, then that means you're a low-down dirty red. Vercetti's beginnings were humble ones, growing up with his mother and father in Liberty City during America's heyday. Vercetti's father worked in a printing shop, where a young Tommy would help his old man clean the rollers. His relationship with his mother is thought to have been strained, though much less is known about the Vercetti matriarch. At this young age, Vercetti intended to one day follow in his father's footsteps, and work in or own his very own printing shop, though these aspirations would eventually be set aside when Tommy found his true calling.
I lived a different life.
Sometime prior to 1971, likely in his late teens, Tommy joined the Forelli crime family, one of the three dominant mafia families vying for control of Liberty City. The Forellis, who were the most powerful family in Liberty at the time, were so impressed with Tommy's natural talents for criminal work that it is thought he was among the youngest made men in Liberty Mafia history, having been given the distinction sometime before his 21st birthday. Tommy's superior, Sonny Forelli, began to fear Vercetti's rapid rise to power and organized an ambush for Tommy to walk into, under the guise of being another hit for the family. To Sonny's and the rest of the family's astonishment, Tommy instead survived, having killed all 11 men of the ambush, and was subsequently arrested and tried for 11 counts of first-degree murder. Tried and convicted, Vercetti faced the death penalty, but in all his interrogations, never once gave up his bosses or connections to the Forellis. For this loyalty, through their people in the courts, the Forellis had Tommy's sentence commuted to 15 years prison time, of which Tommy would serve the entire sentence without ever once saying a word or breaking the criminal code. By 1986, Vercetti was back on the streets of Liberty City. Sonny, who feared Tommy was too well known, arranged for Tommy to fly down to Florida to set up for the family in Vice City. Tommy's first job in Vice was to negotiate an on-foot cocaine deal alongside Harry, Lee, and family lawyer Ken Rosenberg. The deal, which was to be the beginning of the Forelli family stretching its criminal network all the way to the far south of the United States, began typically. The client was the Vance brothers, a pair of brothers who had been running their own narcotics business for the last 2 years out of Vice. Victor Vance, was a former US serviceman with quite a rap sheet of his own who ran the business side of the two's enterprise and made the deals, while Lance was the loudmouth but skilled pilot of the operation who couriered the two to each of their deals. Things were going well until an ambush of men opened fire into the group, killing Victor, Lee, and Harry, just barely allowing time for Lance, Tommy, and Ken to escape with neither the money or the drugs in hand. When Tommy called Sonny to inform him of how the deal went, Sonny warned Tommy that he was
not a man to be screwed with,
and told him that due to their history, Sonny would give him time to make things right and find out who ambushed the deal. With a timer now dangling over Vercetti's head, he would begin working with Ken Rosenberg to infiltrate Vice City's criminal underground, starting with the man who helped Rosenberg set up the deal, Juan Garcia Cortez. Cortez, a retired colonel from Central America, was known among Vice City's elite for housing lavish parties on his yacht docked in Ocean Beach. It is at one such party, using Ken's invitation, that Vercetti met with and confided in the colonel, who also introduced Vercetti to his daughter.
Mercedes!
Rosenberg also had Vercetti meet with well-known cokehead Kent Paul at Vice City's Malibu Club, who pointed Vercetti towards a chef that moonlit as a dealer and hitman on Ocean Drive, who'd
been looking real pleased with himself lately.
Named Leo Teal. After meeting Teal and negotiating with him, Vercetti would be approached by the brother of Victor Vance, killed at the ambush, Lance. Lance reasoned with Vercetti that they both wanted the same thing.
You're green, and my dead brother's white lady.
And they should watch each other's backs. Vercetti initially refused until Lance pointed out a group of angry chefs prepared to butcher Tommy for his murder of Leo Teal. Lance gave Vercetti the rundown on Vice, telling him to stay armed to stay alive, and let Tommy know he'd be watching him.
I'll be watching you, Tommy.
Tommy continued working with the likes of Cortez, silencing a disloyal worker whom the colonel suspected was involved in the setup named Gonzalez, as well as enlisting Vercetti's help in acquiring top-secret missile chip technology from the French Special Forces. Tommy was also introduced through Rosenberg to real estate mogul Avery Carrington, who hired Tommy to start a riot and destroy some property Carrington was looking to acquire, with the incentive of Carrington promising to help Tommy find those responsible for the ambush deal and exacting just punishments upon them. Eventually, Colonel Cortez told Tommy that he suspected local cocaine kingpin Ricardo Diaz was responsible for the ambush, and got both Vercetti and Vance hired as Diaz's bodyguards in an upcoming deal to help ingratiate the two into Diaz's employment.
You must be Cortez's new gun.
Until more gainful opportunities arise. They'll be here any minute. We both better get a good vantage point.
Okay, I'll take the balcony, you get the roof across the yard.
After successfully defending Diaz at another deal gone awry, Vance and Vercetti would continue to work for Diaz, helping him deal with thieving gang members and stealing the fastest boat in Vice City for the drug baron. Lance, however, had become uneasy at working for the man who had his brother killed, and eventually tried to kill Diaz himself, till he was promptly caught and brought to Vice City's junkyard to be beaten and interrogated. Tipped off by Paul, Tommy was able to save Lance, but at the cost of his cover with Diaz being blown.
What do you expect me to do, mow his lawns? I got us some cannons in the trunk.
Holy shit, where'd you get all this stuff?
Been saving for a rainy day.
With Diaz onto them, Vercetti and Vance met on the bridge to Starfish Island, with Vance bringing 2 heavy-caliber assault rifles to assist in their takedown of the frumpy coke lord. Armed and very dangerous, the two men would shoot their way through security until they made their way to Diaz himself, and finally brought down the most powerful man in Vice City, with Tommy taking all of his assets in the process. With Diaz dead and the loyalty and friendship of men like Cortez and Carrington, those who weren't killed in the firefight pledged their loyalty to Tommy, with Lance being his right-hand man. And with that, the Miami Vercetti crime family was born. Continuing where Diaz left off, Tommy established himself as the new man running Vice City. Diaz's former protection racket was expanded, with Vercetti personally ensuring all of Diaz's former businesses now paid dues to him. He would take no excuses from establishments who refused to pay. When the Tarbrush Cafe attempted to secure police protection against the Vercetti gang's demands, Tommy and Lance kidnapped and killed 2 VCPD officers and took their uniforms in order to walk right onto the crime scene and detonate an explosive, setting an example for any other venues who refused Mr. Vercetti's generous offer. During this time, Vercetti would also make friends with the leader of the Cuban gangs in Vice City, Humberto Rabina, whom he would work for in helping in their turf war against the Haitians, as well as, at some unknown point, be drugged by the Haitian matriarch Auntie Poulet to assist them in turn against the Cubans. In the end, Tommy would help Rabina destroy the Haitians' distribution center in Little Haiti, crippling their drug manufacturing infrastructure. Vercetti would also find employment with perhaps the most mysterious person we may ever mention on this program, a one Mr. Black, named so by the FIB and IAA for how little they actually know about him. Vercetti would perform various jobs for Black, mostly hits on targets for unknown reasons. Vercetti also decided to invest in real estate, and purchased numerous businesses throughout Vice to increase his influence, including Kaufman Cabs, Sunshine Autos, Interglobal Films, the Pole Position Strip Club, the Vice City Boatyard, the Printworks, the Cherry Popper Ice Cream Company, which served as another front for drugs, and even the famous Malibu Club. He would help Steve Scott establish Interglobal as the premier smut film studio in Florida, B.J. Smith drastically expand the inventory of vehicles being sold at Sunshine Autos, Maud Hansen maximize profits on illicit goods sold from her ice cream trucks, and Ernest Kelly began production of counterfeit cash from the Printworks as well. After purchasing the Malibu Club, Tommy would also begin planning and assembling a team for a bank robbery of El Banco Corrupto Grande in Little Havana. On Ken's advice, the first person Vercetti would recruit would be safecracker Cam Jones, whom Vercetti busts out of prison for the job. With Cam on board, he pointed Tommy towards the best gun in the city, veteran and gun enthusiast Phil Cassidy. Tommy would impress Phil with his own firearm talents, enough to convince Cassidy to join the team as well. The final recruit, through Cassidy, was an emotionally unstable man named Hillary King who, due to
something to do with his mama,
wouldn't drive for the group until Tommy first demonstrated his own driving aptitude. After beating Hillary in a race, he agreed to drive for them, but completing the 4-man team needed to pull off the heist.
This is going to be the easiest buck we ever made.
Tommy, seriously, you gotta consider going into law.
The 4 would initially take a taxi until arriving at the bank, arming themselves, and suiting up. Hillary would take the getaway car around the corner and wait for the right moment to grab the group, after they'd taken the money. Cassidy, Jones, and Vercetti then stormed the bank, with Phil handling security, while Tommy and Cam went upstairs to try and crack the safe. They would be stopped in their tracks by the dreaded Flangy 9000 lock. Cam Jones would request the manager of the branch, whom Vercetti would retrieve and bring to Jones. On his way down to check on Cassidy, however, one of the civilians managed to hit an emergency alarm, alerting the VCPD to the robbery in progress. Cam Jones would successfully break the lock with the manager's keycard, but with the authorities already on their way, the team was forced to move fast. They would clear the room of at least one squad of Vice City SWAT before making a run for the door. Hillary would manage to arrive just in time to get the 3 remaining men their getaway, but while trying to defend his position, King would be gunned down by Vice City police. The rest of the team would pile into the taxi with Tommy driving and evade the cops until escaping to their safe house and cutting up the take. With a successful bank robbery to solidify their friendship, Tommy would also begin work with Phil Cassidy's black market weapons operation, before saving Phil's life when the Vietnam vet accidentally sets off one of his homemade moonshine stills and completely amputates his left arm. With Tommy now running Vice, Sonny Forelli would become increasingly impatient with him,
Where's the goddamn money?
culminating in the Forelli Mafia descending on Florida to tax Tommy's businesses. The first business hit was the Printworks, where Ernest Kelly was assaulted, confounding Tommy's existing rage with Sonny, and his suspicions that it had been the Forelli Don responsible for his time in prison.
Tommy, rip that guy a new asshole for me.
I'm gonna rip him too!
What's going on?
Tommy, oh, good. Listen. I like fish. I love fish. I love them as pets in bowls, or as food on a plate, but as much as I love them, I don't want to sleep with them, okay? But right now, your Italian brothers are coming from up there to fit me with some cement shoes, and I...
Shut up, Ken! Sit down.
Lance, what the hell's going on?
It's your friends up north, Tommy. They ain't too happy you capped their man. They're coming down to see the business today.
They took longer than I thought. Guys, we gotta make this final. We gotta leave no doubt that this is my operation. Mine! Ken, you get the first run of counterfeit cash and put 20 mil in briefcases. Lance, you get the guys together.
Tommy! What? No big hugs for your old buddy?
I've had 15 years out of the loop. I'm a bit rusty on family etiquette.
Oh, he's angry, huh, Tommy? Didn't I say your temper would get you into trouble, huh?
There's 3 mil in the cases.
How many was it, 10? No, 11 men. That's how you get to be called the Howard Butcher.
You sent me to kill 1 man. 1 man! They knew I was coming, Sonny.
Tommy, watch your tone. Anyone would think you blame me for that unfortunate set of circumstances.
Just take the money.
Get the damn cash. You know, Tommy, I did what I could for you. I pulled strings, called in favors. I was your friend, Tommy. I hoped you'd see sense, see what's good for business. I trusted you, Tommy, and you disappointed me. But at least someone in your chicken shit organization knows how to do business. Isn't that right, Lance?
Sorry, Tommy. This is Vice City. This is business.
You sold us out.
No, I sold you out, Tommy. I sold you out. The real cash is upstairs in the safe.
So, Tommy, what was the big plan? You think I'd just take the fake cash, save face, and run away with my tail between my legs?
No. I just wanted to piss you off before I kill you.
A gun battle would ensue throughout the Vercetti mansion, ending in Tommy killing all of Sonny's men, along with the treacherous Lance, and finally, once and for all, his old boss, leaving only Tommy and Ken alive. With all competition eliminated, Tommy Vercetti now stood as the uncontested king of Vice City.
Tommy? Oh my God, Tommy, what happened?
What does it look like?
It looks like you ruined your suit, and Tommy, that was a beautiful suit. Tommy, what on earth happened?
Had a disagreement with a business associate. You know how it is.
Tommy, I have a disagreement. I send them an angry letter. Maybe I pee in their mailbox. I don't start World War III. You know, maybe you should speak to my shrink.
That stupid prick Lance.
Tommy, I never liked that guy, okay? He's neurotic, he's insecure, he's self-centered. The guy's an asshole. I'm glad you took him out.
Tommy Vercetti is many things. A generally level-headed boss, a loyal and effective member of a team, even a good friend and partner to those he trusts. However, he is simultaneously capable of being a psychotic, uncaring, and explosive maniac, if a tad gullible.
Tommy, for a raging lunatic, you're pretty naive.
Vercetti's humble roots are likely a large part of the reason why he is known to be sympathetic to men like Ernest Kelly, who reminded him of his father, or even Sonny Forelli, whom Vercetti loyally returned to work for, even after suspecting Forelli's involvement in his setup. For those that Tommy considers friends or family, he will fight and die for it, and he has no misgivings about giving those who helped him build his empire their fair slice, especially if he knows their contributions are genuine, if misguided.
Ken, that's right. Ken here, he washes the money for us, and he keeps the drinks on ice.
Tommy has also been shown to be quite protective of his friends, willing to help save their lives even when it means risking his own multiple times, but won't hesitate to hurt, harm, or kill anybody else who Tommy has no attachment to whatsoever, with zero remorse. Tommy is a ruthless and effective killer. It would take an army to stop Tommy Vercetti, and consequently, so far, nobody has. He is a man who likes to take matters into his own hands. Even when his empire had expanded well beyond the need for it, Vercetti would still take the initiative of personally intimidating business owners, creating publicity for his assets, and even selling his products. He is in this sense an embodiment of, when you want something done right, you do it yourself.
You two, off your asses. Let's go.
Tommy is an Italian-American of above-average height with a relatively clean, handsome look. He has near black hair and dark brown eyes and presumably shaves consistently, having a constant 5 o'clock shadow. His most common outfit is a teal Hawaiian shirt with a palm tree pattern, blue jeans, gold necklace and watch on his left arm, and a white pair of sneakers. He has been known to dress up when the occasion calls for it, having no real issue with dressing however he feels on that particular day, with little to no regard for what others think.
What does that guy think he is? Now I gotta dress like a chump as well as hang out with them? I like this shirt.
For tonight's program, a full rap sheet of Thomas Vercetti was obtained from the VCPD, as well as numerous other sources who wish to remain nameless for their own safety. His crimes span decades and are numerous, so let's have a look at the Southern King of Crime's tallies, bearing in mind that some of these numbers are estimates based on witness accounts, and likely the real numbers would be even higher. Killing 11 members of a rival mafia family. Taking part in a drug deal with the Vance brothers that went awry. Killing Leo Teal and stealing his phone. Intimidating 2 jury members in Giorgio Forelli's fraud trial. Causing a riot to bankrupt a delivery company. Killing Avery Carrington's business rival. Blowing up a building using an RC helicopter. Killing Gonzalez. Killing a dealer in order to retrieve his stolen military chips for Juan Garcia Cortez, evading the French military in the process. Watching over a drug deal between Ricardo Diaz and the Cubans, and killing the Haitians who attacked them. Killing one of Diaz's dealers and all his associates on Prawn Island. Stealing a speedboat for Diaz and killing its guards. Taking part in a drug deal for Diaz alongside Lance and killing all the competitors pursuing them. Killing a Haitian gang lieutenant and framing the Cubans for the attack. Stealing an army tank for Juan Cortez. Killing numerous Diaz gang members in order to save Lance. Killing Ricardo Diaz and his guards alongside Lance and taking over all his criminal businesses. Helping Juan Cortez escape the French military. Vandalizing several shops at the North Point Mall to convince the owners to pay protection money. Intimidating a cafe into paying protection money by killing the security agents that were giving them protection. Killing 2 cops alongside Lance. Taking their disguises. Planting a bomb in a store and escaping from the VCPD when the store got destroyed. Attacking the Haitians' drug factory alongside the Cubans and stealing a Haitian van full of drugs for Umberto Rabina. Ambushing a drug deal between the Haitians and the Sharks and stealing their drugs and money for Umberto. Collecting several packages of drugs for Auntie Poulet, evading the VCPD in the process. Bombing several Cubans using RC planes. Killing numerous Cubans with a sniper rifle. Destroying the Haitians' drug factory. Buying drugs for Lovefist and killing the dealer when he attempted to escape with both the money and the drugs. Chasing and almost killing an obsessed stalker of Lovefist. Taking part in an illegal bike race. Causing havoc in the streets to prove himself to Mitch Baker. Killing several sharks in order to retrieve Mitch's bike. Killing Carl Pearson. Killing Mrs. Dawson. Killing Mike Griffin, Dick Tanner, Franco Carter, Marcus Hammond, Nick Kong, and Charlie Dilson. Killing a businessman at the airport in order to steal his briefcase and deliver it to ammunition. Ambushing a deal between the Sharks and the FIB, killing everyone involved and stealing the merchandise. Recovering numerous packages of drugs scattered across the ocean. Selling drugs disguised as ice cream. Stealing 24 cars for the Sunshine Autos import garage. Killing Candy Success' agent and his guards to convince her to star in films for Steve Scott. Dropping flyers advertising the film using a plane without authorization. Acquiring incriminating pictures of Alex Shrub. Arranging a huge publicity stunt involving a rooftop spotlight without authorization. Attacking a rival cab for stealing his client. Destroying 3 rival cabs. Destroying the leader of the rival cabs after being lured into an ambush. Raiding a ship at the docks, killing the guards, and beating a person to obtain information on counterfeit plates from the head of the Vice City Triads. Killing a courier and her guards in order to steal their counterfeit plates. Breaking Cam Jones out of prison. Taking part in an illegal street race against Hillary King. The robbery of El Banco Corrupto Grande Bank. Killing several gun runners in order to steal their weapons for Phil Cassidy. Killing several members of the Forelli crime family attacking his businesses. Killing Lance Vance, Sonny Forelli, and numerous members of the Forelli family attacking his mansion and attempting to steal his money. The final numbers we have on Mr. Vercetti are reflective of a man in his position, with a final direct death toll for Vercetti himself standing at 345 known murders, with the real number almost certainly being much higher than even that. Please also bear in mind that these numbers do not account for the deaths ordered by Tommy in the years following his takeover of Vice City, as Florida has remained an impregnable wall of silence to both our reporters and, in our experience, all journalists who have tried to pin specifics on the Vercetti crime family post-1986. America is a dangerous place, folks. For a man like Tommy Vercetti, he serves as a stark example to others like him, that the American dream can be obtained through sweat and toil, or blood and bullets. Scrutinize your neighbor's every movement, people. You never know how many of them might one day become cocaine drug lords with criminal records in France.
I hate the damn French.
Stay indoors, folks. I'll see you next time on another exciting edition of Grand Theft Auto Biographies with me, your host, Guinness Walker.